Once upon a time, in a remote village, a girl called Ava found an old box with a bottle in it near the river. Suddenly, a genie appeared and said, "Thank you, you saved me. Now you can make a wish and I will give what you want." Ava can't think of it. After much thought, she said, "I want you, together with me, help people in need." Genie agreed. "What kind of people do you want to help?" said Genie. Ava said, "First, I want to have a look around the world and look for the people in need." Genie flew with her all over the world. On the way, they saw a little girl who was selling apples. However, apples couldn't be sold because the weather was very cold and no one wandered around in the street. The girl wore thin clothes. Ava asked, "Hi, little girl, why are you selling apples?" Little girl said, "Because my mom and dad were not in this world. They died years ago, and I have a younger brother. He was just 2 years old. I need to take care of him." Little girl cried. Genie and Ava thought this little girl was poor, so they donated money to her and bought her some clothes. After helping the little girl, they went on. Suddenly, they saw a group of people who lived in Africa in Fremen. Most of them were black. Their hands were full of mud and their fingernails were dirty. Ava and Genie gave money to each poor family and prayed for them. Suddenly, a child came to Ava and said, "Excuse me, I want to go to school and learn. Every day, I see other children go to school happily and learn a lot. I want to learn too." They listened and said, "We will help you to achieve it. Believe us." After this time, they suggested ideas to the local government every day. And finally, the government accepted their proposal and all children could go to school for free. One day, they went to help the poor and they saw a building which was on fire. They immediately put water on the fire and thought what they should do. Suddenly, they heard a crying voice from the fire. Looking carefully, there was a little boy who was sitting and crying and kept saying, "Help me, help me, I'm scared." At that time, Genie didn't think too much and rushed it in the fire. Unfortunately, Genie got hit on the foot by burning wood and couldn't lift the scenes. He gave Ava that the little boy before he died. He said, "Ava, I can no longer accompany you to go around the world to help others. You must continue this spirit of helping others." After a few years, Ava grew up and she kept helping people. She did live up to Genie's expectations.